So I'm talking about whole sliced Python sequences and examining their identity. So a basic hack that I think is well known is that if you want to make a deep copy of the actual values, not the values passed by reference, of a sequence, of a list, for instance, you can use a slice. You make a whole slice. You have, let's say, a list, and then you have a copy of the list. The two things look the same. If you change the first list, it's well known, you then have changed the second list as well, because they're the same object. On the other hand, if the way you make the copy is by assigning a slice from beginning to end, all elements of the first list, you assign them to the second, then when you change the first, the second is unaffected by the change. This is a well-known hack. It doesn't produce a new object if you copy by reference. You're merely making a pointer to the first object. If you slice, you're making a new object, and you can see that it's a new object by using the ID function. This is also, I think, well known. On the left side, I ask, are these two objects the same? They are the same. And on the right side, they are not the same. They're different objects. Okay. So what the ID function returns is an integer. It's the memory address of its argument. And any two objects that coexist at some moment have different memory addresses. So they'll have different integers returned by this function. So, and not only a list, but many things that behave like a list, like an array, behave the same way. A byte array behaves this way. A buffer is another type of sequence, behaves this way. A tuple or a tuple, both of them behave the same way. But there is one sequence that doesn't behave this way, and that is a string. Okay, all right, we can get used to that, I guess. But it turns out that this kind of problem, different sequences behaving different ways, when you slice them beginning to end, make a whole slice, and then ask what the ID is, it turns out that depending on exactly what you're asking, different sequences behave in different ways. There's not a single pattern. Here, a buffer behaves the same way that a string behaves. Is this a question of mutability? This is always the first thing that comes to mind, because a list famously is mutable and a string famously is not. This is not solely a question of mutability. There are actually a number of issues that we could consider. I'm going to kind of jump through this because what I really want to say comes, and I'll be silenced in about a minute. What I really want to say is something further. There's a whole bunch of questions that we can ask about sequences and their identities if you slice them beginning to end, in which they behave inconsistently one to another in CPython, in the reference implementation of Python. It seems like it's random. It isn't probably random, but let me come to the real point. Am I dead? No, I'm not dead yet. Here's the deal. The deal is that if you look at 3 different implementations of Python, they're all quite different in how they behave in this respect. And it turns out that they're not only these 3 versions of Python, CPython, PyPy, and Jython in version 2.7, they're not uniform with respect to these sequences. I think most interestingly, Jython is internally consistent in that every sequence behaves the same way. Every sequence, if you slice it beginning to end, it is a new object. And if you slice it...
We need to clear out of here at 7 sharp.
Any questions?
Fantastic.
Thank you.
When you give that laptop to whoever you sold it from, come get 2 books.
Okay.
Adrian, start getting set up. And...
Do you need, oh, you're.
I'm good. Okay, fantastic. Let's get a little energy after that one for David because we're doing fantastic. All right, and who learned something today? Learned something new. Oh. All right. So we got a lot of people to choose from. Jeez. All right. Yeah. While you're choosing, soon as you're start ready to go, just say, "Hey, Paul, I'm ready to go," and then start. Okay.
Well, look at
Who learned something today?
Hey, Paul, I'm ready to go.
Got three. I got three people. High five. All right. I'll do better next time.
Good to go?
Yeah.
All right.
Roll.
So I'm here to talk about, very quickly, learning something and building something new in July with Python. It's August, you say? Well, has anyone in the audience done or heard about Julython?
Woo-hoo.
Not as much that I thought it would. Well, hopefully you're going to learn some more. Julython is a month-long competition of basically working on your personal projects. You basically set up your hooks in GitHub or BitLocker, and it collects your hooks from there. So what I like to use it for is learning something new, obviously building open source projects, forking and contributing. So my Julython in a nutshell. I've heard lots of great things about SQL Alchemy. So I'm actually from a Django background, so SQL Alchemy was wonderful to look at. So worked on a personal project, which I implemented SQL Alchemy into it, forked and contributed to a package, and published a fun module. So just for warning, if you participate in next year, or actually they do Janulython, which is still next year, it is very addicting because it does get very competitive. So I've got some commits from working at the bubble tea place, falling asleep, and basically commuting in and still working on this. So a nice reason if you did not participate is forking and contributing to somebody else's code. Here's a pull request that I had for this small repository that's on PyPy. Basically, I wanted some versioning support for the package called Bump. For Bump, and basically wanted to, I've got 1 minute, contribute to it. So pull across, there you go. I've also made a fun Monty Python package. You could pip install that and PyPy response. It is really dumb. Why did I make it? I wanted something really fun to make, and I wanted to learn cookie cutter. So take a look at that. So Monty Python's funny. It's a nod to Guido for naming Python after Monty Python. So how did I fare out? I actually fared out pretty well. 39th. Not bad for July. So that's my inspiration for you guys to contribute and participate in Julython. Check it out, julython.org. And that's it.
Frank, you're already eating in your own time, bud.
My notepad.
Notepad? I don't
Yeah.
know.
39th out of what? 39th out of how many?
Oh.
Frank, this is your
My talk's only 2 minutes anyway.
Q&A for the previous lightning talk. I'm interested. I'm going to learn something from this.
39th out of 205.
All right, Adrian, come get 2 books.
No,
Frank's not talking.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a computer.
Oh, okay.
It's not like he's
I'll steal
he's
it.
waiting.
Okay, yes, that's true. All right, my project is in using a loop and New York Times API. I'm an absolute beginner, so I'm looking for other beginners to show this to. I got the idea from John Downs and Caddy Chang and Office Hours and Dean and Jerry Lin. Okay, so what it did is you go to the New York City Health data open data thing, and you Google that, and you get this big list of restaurants that are like either failing or close to failing, and I think there's 500,000 on there. I took like maybe 20 or 40,000 of them, and I put it in a loop, and I said, go to New York Times API and pull some articles, and there's various ways that you can pull the articles and save them just to a plain old text file. And for me, that was really interesting. Then I said, just out of curiosity, I'm going to look and read one or two of these articles, maybe 10 or 20. And I noticed some of them didn't actually have the keywords in there. So I was like, you know, I searched for restaurant plus the name of the restaurant. I should have said that. And I was thinking, you know, the name of the restaurant should be in the article, and a lot of them didn't have that. So I asked somebody else if they can help me do a loop that goes through these files, pulls out the name that I was actually searching for, because that's in the name of the file, and search through the text of it and see if it's even in the file. So it came out to sometimes 40%, 50%, 60%. It was really low, and I'm just like one of those guys that like when I'm playing with Google and it doesn't give me the results I want, I'm like getting angry. So New York Times lets you like run like 10,000 hits a day, and I'd be happy to show you how to do that. And I don't know what else. So just if anybody wants to ask me a question, I got less than a minute left. You're welcome to ask me a question.
What's the
But that's
URL
it.
of the New York Times?
I don't even remember, but I do say that it's really easy to get your API key. It's like a username and password that you throw into the string. So it's like they barely ask you anything. So I heard a lot of people saying, well, don't you have to have a subscription, like a paid subscription? No, that's not true. So.
We just found how to beat the machine, right?
Yeah, I got the time clock. That's great.
Fantastic. That's very good. Fantastic. Oh, yeah. Take your laptop. Set up. Fantastic. Frank, get 2 books if you want them. And let's see. Yep. Any of those 2 books. All right. And what was I going to do? I was going to do something good, and then I forgot. High fives. That's right. Who learned something today?
I can see anything. That's not. Why is it not showing anything? Okay, I can do that. That's what problem.
There we go. See you there. Let's see, guys. All right. I'm going to take a break out there. These are exciting. These are really comfortable chairs, man.
Okay.
All right, cheers, keep talking. All right, there we go.
No, can
you
we?
ready?
Can we go smaller?
Just gonna run. Just gonna run back and forth.
Whatever your machine is giving you.
What's going on?
You had it from?
I it's okay. Okay, can you help me with the slides?
Everybody?
Okay, I'm just gonna talk because like this slide's obviously not working or something. Oh my. Okay, I'm starting, right? I'm going to talk to you about tail recursion optimization in Python by manipulating byte code. This is a joint project with Allison and Paul. And basically, the challenge is this. If you write a recursive function in Python, there is a restriction on how many frames you create. Basically, there is a restriction on recursion depth. And that is a big problem because if you write, say, a factorial function and try to find a factorial of 1000, you're not getting anywhere because it's going to give you a maximal recursion depth. So how do we do better? Well, basically, we want to cut the function open and substitute the recursive call to resetting the valuables to new values and jumping back to the beginning of the function. How do you do that? Well, byte code, obviously. This is what you need to do. The easiest way. So if you've been to Allison's talk today, you know what byte code is. Basically, each function is represented for Python virtual machine. There's a bunch of bytes that map to certain instructions that Python virtual machine understands. And there you have access to really low-level functions. So unfortunately, you cannot see this on my slides, but when you disassemble a Python function, you see that a call to a recursive function has two parts. When you load the definition of the function onto the stack, and when you are actually calling this function. So what you need to do is you need to remove the bytes that are responsible for these two operations, and instead insert the bytes that are going to store the new values of your variables and are going to tell Python to jump back to the beginning of the function. And this is exactly what we're doing, and oh my god, it works. Unfortunately, I cannot show it to you here, or can I? Does it? Okay, this is recursion problem, right? Now, this is factorial 1000. This is the decorated over here, and it totally works. It totally works. And finally, okay, yeah. All right, that's it.
All right. Fantastic. I have to make a note that Luda came up just only a few weeks ago and gave just out of nowhere a lightning talk, right? I don't even know if you planned to do it that day. You were just kind of like, I'm going in. All right, she did it. Now she's presenting for PyGotham 2014. Give it up for her.
Yeah!
Fantastic. And come get 2 bucks. All right, is it Nate?
Yep.
Fantastic. All right, everybody, you're not ready to go? Okay, so this is where we kill time. All right, this side of the room, you're Pi. This side of the room, you're Gotham. You got it?
Pi! Gotham! Pi! Gotham! Pi!
Okay, all right. Got it, good. My data set is now complete. I'll start running some data on that. Running some analysis on that data. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hey, everybody. My name is Nate Ani. Hey, everybody. So how many people here have taken an online course? Raise your hand. Awesome. How many have taken a course on the Edx platform? Okay, cool. So for those of you who don't know what Edx is, it's 3 things. It's a nonprofit venture. It's a website, edx.org, and it's also an open source platform called OpenEdX. So Edx, the venture, was founded by a couple schools you might have heard of up in Boston, Cambridge actually. And there's now 35 or 34 charter members that have joined. And the goals are really to expand access to quality education. And they have the goal of educating 1 billion students. I think they're at, like 100 million or something now. Also to improve on-campus education and advance research and online learning. So that's the website. If you want to go, there's like 200, 300 courses online right now. Lots of computer science, game design, engineering, all kinds of stuff. So this is brief history up to, let's see, I was overreaching, it wasn't 100 million, 2.3 million. Still not bad for only being online for about a year. This is what the website looks like, where you can browse all the courses. There's a new course that's offered by the Linux Foundation called Introduction to Linux. It's not taught by Linus Torvalds, but he does do the little intro video. And this is what it looks like. As you sign up for a course, this is a science and cooking class. You have videos and you can take little quizzes, and it basically grades you and tells you how you're doing. Periodic table. Discussion forums, so you can interact with students from all over the world. And this is the studio. This is the content management side for the authors who are actually authoring the course content. Really easy to use. You don't have to be a programmer to do that. Why am I talking about this? Well, for one thing, you can take the Python class online, and it actually auto-grades your Python assignments right in the browser. Tells you if you got them correct. Just running this in a jail. I have 1 minute, so I'm going to have to go really fast. So Open Edx, that's what I want to get to. This is the platform that's underlying the Edx platform. It was open sourced a year ago. It powers Stanford's own MOOC platform. And yes, so there's been some growing pains the first year, but it's improving. The community is growing, and we need your help. These are some of the people who built online learning platforms using the Open Edx software. It's written in Django, uses a lot of Python, a lot of JavaScript. 150 courses, 10 countries. Google is involved with it. And so if you're interested in this, you want to educate people, you need tools, let's work together. Thank you.
Thank you. Fantastic. Come on, get 2 books. Thank you very much, Nate. Ricky Chapter. We need you up next. I just realized what would be really cool is if my phone did like a in the event that you were out of time. Something for me to work on the after hours. Okay, we did a call and response. We did me high-fiving people. Tell a joke.
You heard the one about the broken pencil?
Yes, I've heard the one about the broken pencil.
Too bad, it's pointless.
Give it up, everybody. Give it up for James, everybody. He sat down and told that joke. Fantastic. Wow, Joshua. I love that man. There he is.
Hi everybody, I'm Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
Hello. So I work at IBM where we do a lot of fraud analytics with IBM sales data. So this involves millions of customers. Sales are going through thousands of business partners. So we want to detect some cases of fraud, if any, that may be happening in there, or at least identify potential transactions to be reviewed by humans, but you cannot review millions of transactions that are going through. So one small part of that is related to entity analytics, and I'll just sort of introduce what is the problem statement, and then it will already you will see where it comes in with the fraud analysis, and how you could address similar kind of problems. There are some commercial tools out there, and I'd especially would like to mention G2, which is one of the IBM offerings on this. Although I personally haven't used it, it's like somewhat in development. So but that's for you to explore. So what is entity analytics? So part of it is about disambiguation. Let's say you have multiple data sets on people, right? You want to identify, okay, which of these people are actually distinct, right? You aggregated or bought the data from multiple sources, and you want, or you, let's say, downloaded it from the government database that government says that these are export banned people for United States. So you cannot sell them stuff, right? So you want to find if these people exist in your database. So the general problem is something along those lines. So let's say you have 2 databases from Plano, Texas, about people, and you find a name like James W. Powell and James Powell. I don't know why I picked them. Right? So are these the same? Maybe. You still have to do some more digging. So you say one of them has a date of birth, the other one doesn't. Okay, so they still might be the same, and you still don't know, right? So similarly, you could drill down. One of them has a social security, the other one doesn't, right? So, but it turns out that they might be different people. So one other thing you could do is with relationships. So let's say there's in the data set you find Jane Smith and James Powell live at the same address, right? So this is another problem, that addresses you have to standardize. You can't just match strings on these kind of cases, right? But then you have to sort of dig more into the data, and you find, oh, James is related to that Jane Smith, so you can say congratulations, James. Then there's challenges in here that you want to know if there's if data sets have typos and so forth. So you want to clean your data, do regular expressions or whatever you can. Right, you can write your data in Mandarin or in Cyrillic or something, so that you have to be able to handle that and still be able to join. Then there are illogical things that Peggy is the same as Margaret. That only works in United States. All right, and do it to scale. Thank you.
All right, we have Ricky. Next up, we have Edgar. And while he's getting set up and while Ricky is getting his books, let's have all the volunteers actually stand up, if you would. All the volunteers in the room.
I guess it's over.
Stand up. This is the last video I'm asking you for the evening. All right, yeah, exactly. Fantastic. These guys made it happen, the ladies made it happen. What's that? Why is Celia? Because she is an organizer. Now organizers. And you said, oh my gosh! No, look at Celia. I'm sorry, Celia. I got distracted by a gigantic cat behind me. You can't trust me with adorable kittens behind me. It's not, focus goes away quickly. Cool.
How do you make this work?
That's a great question.
Audio visual department.
Fantastic. Okay, so yeah, if you are, we're actually going to make a couple announcements right now. If you're a volunteer, can you be here at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning? So that way we can get you all set up and get ready to go for whatever talks we have going on for the rest of the day. I know. Thank you, volunteers. Yeah. We own you. You're giving us an invaluable service. Okay, what else can I fit in? Does everybody know where Bitly is? Does anybody want me to give like body motion directions towards Bitly? Okay, so when you walk out of the front door, the ones that you came through, there's some of these turnstile thingy-majigs, right? So you go through those until you tell me to stop. I'm gonna keep going.
You should stop.
Okay. So far, we've gotten you out of the building.
Okay, so just some context. Hi, I'm Edgar. Yesterday, I finished a compiler's class, and we were graded on many things. The compiler was written in OCaml and C++, but a teammate who was supposed to write the tests just didn't do it. And we actually found this out, I think 40 minutes before we had to submit it. So it was kind of like a oh crap moment. And nobody really even though we wrote the compiler in OCaml, nobody's like really good enough to bang something out in 5 seconds. Because then it needs to get tarballed, and then you have to package it, and you have to email it, so it's not really 40 minutes left. It's really like 5. And so I hadn't written Python in a few months, so I tried my best to come up with something quick. Anyway, so it runs a shell script. Here's the script. It runs a shell script, a build script, basically, this run YAGL. The name of the programming language was YAGL, for yet another graphics language. We were trying to make SVGs, and programmatically. So these are the scripts that make the YAGL, and then these are the test SVGs that it's supposed to go up against. And then this might be the most inefficient triple, quadruple loop ever. But it just goes through, calls the shell script, makes the shell script do it, opens up whatever is made temporarily, and then compares it, and it compares it in the stupidest possible way. It just raises an exception if there's a difference of the list of strings. So it's like, this might be like big O of 30, but it worked. So I'll just show you. So the bottom one is the SVG. And so that's what it looks like. That's like the base case. And right, so now no exceptions. It's running the shell script. That's pretty cool. So the stuff that's printing, that's fine. So let's just double check that it's actually doing what it's supposed to do. And the exception was raised. There's a diff. It doesn't tell you the line number, it doesn't tell you anything, but it tells you a diff does exist, which is good enough. For like,
Oh yeah, what's the name of your topic?
yeah, Python saved my ass.
Fantastic. All right, great. Thank you so much, Edgar. Next up, we have Ian. Ian, while you're getting into position, I'm going to tell all attendees, make sure you show up with your pass tomorrow, or we're not guaranteed to be able to get you back in. Make sure to show up with your pass tomorrow. So as you're going out through these turnstiles, right? You get out beside the doors, all right, you're going to turn left. You're going to go left past the M&M shop. M&M shop. And there'll be an NQR train. You're going to take that downtown to Union Square. If you stay towards the north side of the train, that might be hard for you. Don't worry about it. That's extra information. You ready to go?
Can I borrow somebody's computer?
Oh, somebody's computer. I don't know if there's any computers in this room.
Yeah, do Tom next. What's that? Tom next.
Tom, do you mind?
Yeah.
Oh, there's Tom. Okay, great. Fantastic. All right, so let's try and hang out on the north side of the train. That'll make it easier when you get out at 14th Street. Take the nearest exit when you get out of 14th Street, and then you will walk west. I don't know if there's still sun in the sky, but if there is, then you'll walk towards the sun. Just don't look directly at it. And then you'll finally end up at, I believe, 6th Avenue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the 6th Avenue and 5th Avenue. Don't go to 6th. Don't.
Ready to go. All right, I'm terrifically excited to tell you a bit about, well, first, we use Python. This is a great language.
What's your name?
I don't want to say because it'll take too much time. I'm Tom, though, and I really like REPLs. Here's an example of using the Python REPL, which is pretty cool. I can test out this code, which is kind of neat. I'm just here typing. I can use dir to see what methods this thing has. I can look at the help. This is cool stuff you can do with Python because it's this fun, language that has this REPL, which is great. There's a few issues with this, though, and so some folks, just a small band of folks, made this program. You probably haven't heard of it. Called IPython, and it's kind of cool. It lets you do things like this, completion. We can do the same thing here, but then we can say s dot. Oh, look at that! We get tab completion here. Pretty cool, pretty neat. And now we can use our function. We can get docs on it. I kind of forget what we were doing because it's way up there now, but I can keep doing that, and we can get information about it. I guess we can't get. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. But sort of unfortunate that we couldn't kind of see what we were doing still. This history stuff took up all this. So there's another thing called bpython. bpython Curtis is a new front end for it, and it's in the master now. You can download this now. You can pip install it now. Look at that. We could just right arrow, and it just completed. That was cool. We can just tab through these things. That's kind of neat. Here, I can go to the right one, look at the docs for it by opening the paren. So cool, yeah, I know, isn't that pretty neat? I could even, if I want, look at the docs for this, look at the source for this C function. That's pretty cool. That's not actually my work. Caveat a little bit. Neat stuff. Pretty cool. All right, some other things that bpython can do. Say I'm using bpython here, and I'm typing something out, typing really fast now. And I'm doing this. Oh shoot! Did you see what I did? I left an underscore out of the init. Darn! I'm gonna have to start over. But in bpython, I can hit Control R, and it goes back one line, and I can type out that thing again. Cool. Much better. That's great. Really neat. All right. Now I'm gonna keep going with this program. As we're going, I'm gonna use this a little bit, and I'm gonna call this method that I wrote on it. I'm sure I wrote like a say hello method or something. Oh shoot, I didn't, so now I have to go back again, and I can do that with this, send it all to an editor and run it again. Cool. So that's pretty neat. It's gonna work in a sec here. Good, it worked. All right, moving on, we have, sometimes a common task is that you wanna be testing out a module and kind of see what's gonna happen. Here, I'm gonna do that a little bit. I'm gonna do it some more. I'm working on this. Oh, but now I open in another tab, my file, and now I could kind of reload it. I'm going to make a change and then jump back over here, hit F6, which kind of reloads it in a very safe way. We actually rerun the session. And then I could even turn on auto reloading, which I just did here, auto reloading active. Now I can just make changes here and we watch the file system and reload this, not in an unsafe IPython, load way, but like actually run it.
Oh my goodness! If I knew I could have won you over with Python REPL. Oh my goodness, that was amazing. That's stuff that a REPL should never be able to do. Did you get your? But I can't, and we should allow. Tom, did you get books?
I didn't know. No,
Get some books. Okay, so we're almost there. Basically, you go to 5th Avenue. It's 5th Avenue and 18th, 17th, 16th, 15th, between 15th and 14th, 14th and 15th, 77 and 22. Fantastic, we'll see you there. It's in between 15th and 16th.
No, 16th
On-
and 17th.
I'm pretty sure he works there. I'm pretty sure.
No, but he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
It's north of 16th.
Am I in a dream?
He just goes there by habit.
No.
Okay, hello, my name is Ian, and I'm here to just give a quick demonstration about this library I just started using this week called Pai Gow. It is a great library for generating SVG charts. It can render them either to a file or to HTML, so you can embed it directly into a website like I've done here. This takes about 4 or 5 lines of code, depending on what you have to do to your data to get it into a list format suitable for Pai Gow. But you can use it to make bar graphs, more bar graphs, a pie chart. That came out rather large. One of the couple of the inconsistencies I found with this library, oddly enough, the JavaScript doesn't work the same in Chrome as it does in Firefox. In Firefox, these numbers wouldn't be here. You just hover over it and it'd give you a nice little what that section represents and the number. It doesn't do that in Chrome for some reason, which is weird. And if you're using Python 2.7, you have to set an is Unicode equal to true when you create the graph, otherwise you'll get some bad, yeah. But this took about an afternoon to make, and it's pretty fully featured for something that I banged down 5 hours, and it's infinitely resizable since it's an SVG. You can also get it to output to a PNG, but nobody seems to know how to get that to work yet. But you can check it out. If you would like to fix it, you can go to pygow.org and fork it on GitHub if you're inclined to do that. But it's a great library. You can have nice looking charts like this that are totally customizable. You can change the colors and scales and everything. You can make them logarithmic. But it's a great tool to get up and running in 5 minutes for a quick presentation like this when you need a chart. So that's it. Check it out. Try and fix the PNG thing. Thank you.
Paul. Really, right? Hi, everybody. I'm Paul. Hi, Paul. All right.
That's me.
That's not correct. It's High Paul's. The real name Paul. Come on.
For some reason, it was kind of irresistible to just kind of stare at you in the crowd. Okay, while he's getting set up, what was the announcement that we were supposed to give? Oh, if you are interested in getting, these are fantastic lightning talks, am I right? Yeah! Right. If you want to be part of more tomorrow, there is our breakout room, 7-Eleven, as well as 705 for partying, playing, doing some Pi Lady stuff and lightning talks. So join in the fun there if you want to continue what's happening right now. How much time do you need? Okay, so it's still got some time to explain. You are in between Netherland and Narnia, and you're on 5th Avenue, right? You're going to enter into the building that is right next to Anthropology. That's how I remember it. Yeah, and you're going to go past a sign that says, "Doorman will be back soon." Okay? I swear. All right? And so and there you go, you press the elevator button, we all know how to do that, and you get on the elevator. Let's be safe, okay? We don't need 20 people on an elevator at once. It's cool, but safety is the main name of the game tonight. Except until you get up to the plugged in? And then it's just crazy for the rest of the day. And Bitly is the fourth floor, fantastic. When you'll get up, you'll see the Bitly fish. And you will walk out and join a bunch of Python programmers from PyGotham 2014. You'll have a blast. You'll go, maybe drink too much, maybe eat too many cookies, who knows what, but you'll have a lot of fun. You'll come back tomorrow and we'll do this whole thing again. Sound good? Yeah! Fantastic.
I am restarting my computer right now because I run Linux.
He's restarting his. Oh, you know what? You're running Linux. We've had nastiness all day with Linux and this adapter and trying to get it up on the screen. Is there any way that you can talk through this? And I'm right here, line it out for you.
No, I gotta need.
You need
Is
this.
your code posted so that it can be downloaded?
Yeah, totally, of course. Yeah, but
Just so y'all know, I'm looking at a zebra running.
oh, this zebra actually has a whole story to it, which is incredible. Which is an
Is it
entirely
under
different
3
lightning
minutes?
talk. Hold on, is it loading?
Seriously, bud, I think you've got about a minute and a half to start talking. I really apologize. I'd love to hear about this zebra.
Yeah. Does anyone else have a computer that could use? Maybe like a Mac that works? Yeah, Tom. Go.
Tom.
All right, this isn't going to be nearly as funny. Do you have
Pi 10.
what's that?
Pi 10 is installed here, I think.
What's the virtual name?
Cool. They got
Work
this.
on
All
HY.
right. Any questions before we go? So we'll work.
Street address. What's the street address of it?
85 Fifth Avenue. Thank you. What's your name? Margie, thank you.
Everyone say together.
Thank you, Margie. I don't know if you heard her name. Let's try to get her name for you. Thank you. Fantastic.
All right, so I'm.
The street address. Oh, yes. The street address.
All right, Paul. All right, so by not using Linux, unfortunately, this is now working fantastically. Hi guys, I'm Paul, and I wrote a. Oh hi, how you doing? And I wrote a Lisp, and it's called Hi because I kind of have some free time, and so I guess that's what one does when one has some free time. So let's take a look at this Lisp. It's pretty sweet. So I can import OS, and then run apt-path on os.path for the current directory. And what do you know? We're using, yes, please. No, this is amazing. Thank you. Okay, cool. All right, and so all my pre-done stuff is totally not here, so I'm about to do this live, which is the first time I've done this. If I have a file called maths.hi, and I define a function in Lisp called square, and it takes a single argument x, which returns x times x. I can open up a Python shell. I can import hi, and then I can import maths.square 2. Oh my god, yes, come on, yeah, totally. This is literally the coolest thing ever. Now let's take a look at debug.py, import hi, and then we're gonna import this maths module, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna import pdb, pdb.set trace, and then we're going to call print on maths.square of 2. And if I run debug, I have to be super careful because I don't have a Mac keyboard. I'm super worried about messing this up. So you can see we're in the Python function here, debug.py. This is all totally normal, right? Everyone should this is part of their day. Everyone's totally been here. Awesome. So let's step into this call. And what do you know, Lisp? Oh my god! So good. Look, you can debug it. This is awesome. And so hi is a front end, sort of like LLVM or GCC is for C to Byte Code, is sort of a front end for Lisp into Python, right? Awesome, incredible. It does this essentially by overriding PEP 302 import hooks, importing stuff behind the scenes of Python, shoving it into sys modules, and no one knows, ever. It's incredible, right? And so suddenly Python can import Lisp, and Lisp can import Python, Python can still import Python, and everyone's happy. And it's amazing. And I had so many other really cool examples, but if anyone wants to check it out, you can pip install hi and have a Lisp REPL right there. You can check out Hilang on GitHub or Twitter, and I am Paul Tag. Feel free to ask me any questions.
Fantastic. You can ask Paul Tag all questions at the Bitly Social. Everybody have a wonderful trip to Bit.